And when you center people who can dip in and out of blackness, you're always going to have egg on your face. Usually people who dip in and out of blackness are completely poured into because of the fact that they're the preference, because of the fact that they're not like the other black girls. And when you build your confidence off of being different than the other black people, you are constantly chasing validation. You're constantly chasing affirmation. And when people decide to withdraw from you, you lash out, right? Like that's why Amber Rose attacked Jocelyn. You lash out. That's why Cardi B got upset in an IG live and talked about how hard she worked because of her background and how dark-skinned girls just have to be smarter. Like you end up saying these things that's really ignorant because you're lashing out at the fact that you're not constantly the center of attention anymore, because they're always going to find a new preference. You're always replaceable.
Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really have to? There is nothing
Hi, welcome to Mayowa's world. Hi y'all, my name is Mayowa, and on my channel I like to talk about colorism, featureism, texturism, and black erasure. Today we are going to be talking about black erasure and the consequences of those who dip in and out of blackness. So I made a video last year talking about Amber Rose and how Amber Rose has used her mixed race privilege to have access to black spaces, just for her to turn around and say that she never felt accepted by black people. Something that she said that was really interesting to me was when she said that she feels like she's never fit into any culture.
I don't fit in white spaces, but I don't fit in black spaces either.
I just found that to be really laughable. Amber, like your entire rise to fame was literally off of dating black men. Like, who black men chooses to center and pour in love somehow is also who we as black people pour in love as well. So to say that you've never fit in, it's manipulative. But this year she is actually photographed next to Donald Trump, endorsing Trump for year 2024 for the presidential election. There are so many black celebrities who for the longest time have been very conservative. I have made another video where I talked about how a lot of celebrities will cosplay as radical or progressive just for them to end up becoming conservative. So her aligning with someone conservative isn't necessarily something unusual in hip hop or in pop culture. Amber Rose is someone who has been a celebrity in pop culture for over a decade because of her affiliation essentially with black men. We allow a lot of non-black women into black communities because they date black men, and somehow usually the girls who date black men have some element of black culture adorned on them, whether it be their hair or their figure or their lips. Pretty much in our society, we will uplift anyone who is non-black and can adorn black features to any degree. So Amber Rose is a perfect example of that. Right now in pop culture, majority of artists who people want to promote to us within the black community will not be black when they are women. They will usually be a non-black woman. And we are often trying to see ourselves in people who do not look like us. And this has severe consequences because when an actual black person is on a TV screen or in media who actually has black features, people are very upset that she looks very black. And that is just a consequence of not seeing yourself for so long that you start to be upset at people who aren't able to look racially ambiguous. My previous video, I've made 2 videos about Francesca Amiwuda. Because she is a black person who is perceived as black, people are upset that she has black features, and they're hoping for her to have more racially ambiguous features, whether it be your complexion, whether it be your nose and your lips and having thinner noses and lips, whether it be your hair texture. There's always this desire for black people want us to look more closer to Eurocentric standards of beauty. I feel like a lot of mixed race people who get upset that black people don't accept them oftentimes comes down to greed and the want to constantly be validated at all times. And when that validation is removed, there's a lot of pushback. Amber Rose is not black, but Amber Rose has said the N-word. Amber Rose was featured on a documentary called, I think, Light Skin Girls. Let me know if any of y'all saw this. This came out in like the early 2000s. Very traumatic, and it was in response to a documentary called Dark Skin Girls. And so they created Light Skin Girls, I'm guessing because the light skin people were feeling really left out, that they weren't included in a conversation around colorism. So they made a whole documentary talking about how hard it is to be light skinned. And Amber Rose was on that documentary talking about how her parents would never want her to be with somebody black, which is once again doubling down on the fact that she is not black. Because if you're black and your parents don't want you to be with somebody black, that's weird. But when you're not black, that's like normal. That's like just average racism, right? So Amber Rose was featured on this light skin documentary centering people who have light skin. Amber Rose has been featured many times in the same communities who she says she doesn't feel accepted by. You know, I've made other videos about how I feel like we're going into a more conservative time. You're going to see people dropping the, like, you know, I feel like in around 2020 it was very popular to be aligning yourself with activism work, which is actually kind of gross that activism has become like a popularity thing. But I just saw a lot of people who aligned themselves with activist work and wanted to be very black. Like there's so many organizations of people who aren't black trying to support black people during 2020. There were so many people who were trying to, you know, gain capital during 2020, which is sick once again. And now 4 years later, I feel like we're seeing the crash out of that time, and people, and you know, more brands are wanting people who are less political. That's why there are so many celebrities who are not speaking about the genocides happening in Congo, the ones that are happening in Sudan, things that are going on in Haiti, things that are going on in Palestine. All of these things are suppressed because it's not popular, as we know, to be politically aligned. And so we're seeing a lot more celebrities intentionally being bold about being in a conservative space. And that's, and supporting someone like Donald Trump. And it's so wild that Amber Rose could have a walk like back in the day called the Slut Walk, which was supposed to uplift women who were experiencing horophobia and like other kind of shaming. Like she was a person who was bringing these people together. And we should have known that it was nonsense when a woman who looks like her is at the front of experiencing horophobia or like anything. Because yes, Amber Rose has been called a slut, but like you can't compare what Amber Rose is going through to what Sexy Red goes through, to the same shame that Sexy Red gets. How Sexy Red is literally somehow the encompassing of the black women community. And because people like her music, people think that, you know, the black race is going down and she's really bad for children. Like it's just not comparable when you are actually a black person. So Amber Rose was on College Hill where she literally physically assaulted Jocelyn Hernandez because Jocelyn was talking about liking black features, and that triggered Amber Rose so much that she let out like rage, that she expressed rage.
Traditional Western beauty sucks. I hate to say it for the whites.
Ooh, Jocelyn.
Oh, we ain't gonna white people. Oh, just Amber, we got a little white person in here, but she's mixed though. I have the freedom of speech to say that black folks is a little bit cuter than the white people. Okay. I mean, if you don't like that, then you need to go and rewrite your constitution.
Can't let nobody bully me like that. I refuse. I don't let my family bully me like that.
There she go, cry baby, cry baby, cry baby.
And then I thought what was so wild about the TV show was that they both got suspended, even though Jocelyn was the one who got assaulted. And that is so common when it comes to people who have privilege. Like it is so common for a white person to attack, like essentially Amber Rose is a white woman attacking a black woman, right? Like we can call it what it is. She literally has blonde hair, blue eyes. Not only was Amber Rose doubling down on saying that Joe Biden doesn't care about black people, which isn't wrong. She says exactly, LMFAO, y'all think Biden cares about black people? Sad. Do your research. I did. I'll always put women first. Y'all want biological men in women's sports? Trump supports the most reasonable compromise on abortion. Stop being brainwashed because we're all people of color. Make your own decision. And another thing is like Amber Rose literally like just wanted to throw in transphobia because she knew it was like a topic that could, you know, that inflames people and like makes people like just a form of being really inflammatory. And I find it really ironic. I find it really ironic that Amber Rose wants to be transphobic, considering the fact that Amber Rose used to walk in ballroom. For those who don't know, ballroom was created by black trans queer people. And it was a way for them to be able to express themselves. It was a way for them to be able to express themselves. So they had their own ballroom. They had their own communities. Amber Rose walked in balls back in the, I don't know, 90s, 2000. I don't even know what year that was. And so you can like openly now come for trans women, but you're actually being invited into literally trans communities. And I don't know if y'all have ever seen the documentary called The Aggressives. It's a documentary where it's like following people who are mask presenting, I think in the 90s. A lot of those people are now trans. I have my thoughts on the documentary. Like elements of it was like very colorist and anti-black, but what's new? But anyway, Amber Rose was literally dating one of the people from that documentary. Amber Rose also a black person, right? A black masked person. Amber Rose was involved in ballroom. But you can like, and this is what I mean by the people who are like in and out, because you are so comfortable to like, when you're able to get accepted, you're like essentially pushing all those people who literally helped you get there, and you're recreating yourself. And that's something that I think a lot of times people who have a lot of privilege can do. A lot of times people who are mixed race or white presenting are able to do that and able to transition. And like, to me, the whole point of being black is like, there are people who I really wish weren't black. There are people who like, I'm like, I really wish you were not black because I don't like that you're in my community. Take, for example, Clarence Thomas. He is unfortunately black, and he will always be black from the beginning of how he started to the end of how he started. So when he makes these really ridiculous decisions, when he is appointed and he gets access to more things, I have to accept that this is always going to be a black person in my community, right? Like this person, Clarence Thomas, can't leave the black community, right? Sexy Red can't leave the black community, but Amber Rose is able to transition from being in the black community to being in a more conservative space. And we're watching what that transition will be like for her, because here she is with Donald Trump. And she's able to be in white spaces because white spaces is not unfamiliar to her, considering the fact that she has a white father, right? So it's not the same thing of how black people are always constantly carrying their race on their back. Like when a black person makes a decision, people are like, oh, you know, somehow you become the representative for your entire race. And when you look like Amber Rose, you don't have that same walk of life. And I always wonder, like, if we were to ever have aliens come down and they were to like look at who we consider black, I feel like they would be like, what is going on? So they'll be like, wait, y'all thought Amber Rose, a blonde hair, blue-eyed woman, was black, and you allowed her to have access into black spaces for 10 years to the point where she's in documentaries called Light-Skinned Girls, even though she's literally a white-skinned woman. She's in a documentary called Light-Skinned Girls. She's dating black rappers, and even though black rappers know that this is totally fetishy and the fact that she's only dating black people is really fetishy, but they continue to allow her to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep taking up space in black communities. And that's who y'all thought was black? And it wasn't until she started to transition into more conservative spaces that people were like, maybe she's not black. Like, I feel like the aliens are going to be judging us. I'm judging us. I think that's embarrassing. I think it's embarrassing all the people who are literally arguing that Amber Rose was black. That's really embarrassing. You know, someone else that reminded me of was, I don't know if y'all watched For the Love of Ray J back in the 2000s. I was a kid. I liked to watch that show. And I remember there was one of the contestants, her name was Danger. She had like this like tiger tattoo on her face. And I like saw a video that came up of hers on my For You page. And I was watching the video, and I'm gonna put up clips of the video. And it was essentially just her saying that she wishes that she was never involved with the black community. Like the black community has like destroyed her life.
If I had chosen a different path, you know, in life, a different path, and I just completely stayed away from all black people, my life would have been way better, like way better. If I had just married a nice white boy from my neighborhood growing up, or from my church, and lived in the suburbs and finished college, yeah, I'd probably be a doctor or a lawyer, and I probably would have had a totally normal, wonderful life without any drama at all, without any abuse at all. Like, I could have just found a nice person and married them, and they wouldn't have been black, and my life would have been awesome. Awesome. 100% of the people who attacked me were black. 100% of them were black. 100% of the people that I've had to fight were black. What's interesting about this whole thing, right, is had I not been so empathetic to the black situation, and had I not really just known about the history and read so many books in college, I read Elaine Brown's book, she's a Black Panther. I read a lot of the Black Panthers books in college, and I was super upset about what was happening. And I did not have a black family. I had maybe like a handful of people who were black in my family. Everybody else was not black. It treated me bad, but not as bad as the black family members treated me. No. My black family members treated me the worst, not the other races, and black people in my schools and in the community.
And pretty much the fact that because of her mixed race privilege, because of her racial ambiguity, she could have been with a white person who would have elevated her life and treated her better. But her issue was that she became the preference to the black community, and men treat their preferences terribly. And they have to learn, and she figured out the hard way. And to me, it's like so disgusting how like people literally build their confidence and their self-worth based off of being a preference. You enjoy the othering. You are excited about the fact that something about you is different than the rest of those ugly black girls. And you perpetuate that same colorism and that same texturism. Like you literally start to feel like, wow, because I have this hair texture, because I have this skin color, because my eyes are this color, like I am literally better. And these men like set you up to believe that just to end up hurting you and treating you terribly. And that's why like truly, there is no liberation in being an exception. Whenever anyone wants to make you feel like you're so different and you just look so beautiful and there's something about you that makes you a lot more beautiful than the other black girls, it's disgusting. Like, trust me, nothing good comes from that. I never want to be pitted against another woman. Like it's corny. It's giving puppeteering. But it's like I said, I feel like it's a form of greed. It's a form of greed to have access to a community that you genuinely don't see yourself as, and you see yourself better than. And then to now transition and want the most out of whiteness, to want the most care, to want the most resources, and to shit on the people who literally helped you get to where you were. Like, I'll never be able to get over that. And when you center people who can dip in and out of blackness, you're always going to have egg on your face. Usually people who dip in and out of blackness are completely poured into because of the fact that they're the preference, because of the fact that they're not like the other black girls. And when you build your confidence off of being different than the other black people, you are constantly chasing validation. You're constantly chasing affirmation. And when people decide to withdraw from you, you lash out, right? Like that's why Amber Rose attacked Jocelyn. You lash out. That's why Cardi B got upset in an IG live and talked about how hard she worked because of her background and how dark-skinned girls just have to be smarter. Like you end up saying these things that's really ignorant because you're lashing out at the fact that you're not constantly the center of attention anymore, because they're always going to find a new preference. You're always replaceable. But I'm very tired of it. Like I'm very tired of any group of people who aren't really about it getting platformed in a community that they're not a part of just to go around and like spit in their face and like to act as if like Donald Trump is doing so much more for black people, and to be public and endorse it like just shows that you really have no ethics. You really have no self-worth. You're just jumping from whatever can give you clout and attention, and it's very pathetic. So if you made it to the end, tell me what you like about my look. My makeup today is actually inspired by this makeup girly who literally is an icon. Her name is Chelsea. I think her Instagram is Makeup by Chelsea. I'll like put a picture. My makeup doesn't really look exactly like her makeup because I feel like she's actually on another level. But it was really fun to try and do. And yeah, and then I'm wearing like a little denim dress. You can't see it. But anyway, bracelets. I'm trying to get more into like accessorizing, having more accessories. But thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.